Good afternoon. I'm Ed Pozzuoli, CEO of Tripp Scott, and today we're actually honored to be joined by the Mayor of Broward County, Furr. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
So let's talk a little bit about the topic that's on everybody's mind is transportation. Give us a little update from a Broward County Commission regional standpoint. Where are we with the various modes of trying to address the traffic issues in Broward?
Well, as you can imagine, it's probably the number one topic on everybody's mind. As a county commissioner, it's what I hear of more than anything else. We've got some really good transportation at the airport, seaport, but our ground transportation, anybody who's been on I-95 or US 1 or I-75, we know we get stuck from time to time.
Right.
So over the last couple years,
we're sort of a victim of our own success.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I want to put it. In the right way.
That's the right standpoint. Thank you. But over the last couple of years, we've had FDOT and Broward County staff and MPO, everybody kind of working together to develop a 30-year plan. It's got a lot of good parts to it. Some parts that I think that are kind of exciting about are the parts with fiber optic. I think everybody wants a green light at all times. You know, we can't always have that, but you can optimize things if we become a smart county. I love it when I'm driving down I-95 and it says 9 miles to Coral Springs, 9 minutes away. That means I'm going 60 miles an hour.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
I hate it when it says 9 miles, 27 minutes. I'm like, oh man. But we're good on the north-south. We've got that on the Turnpike. We got it on I-95. We got it on 75. But we don't have it on any of the east-west. So what we need is we need to be able to put fiber optic on all the arterials. That's going to give us a chance to get our really good arterial management, synchronization, and be able to change things on the fly.
We'll talk about the Commercial Boulevard, Broward Boulevard, Oakland Park.
Looking at, there's 73 particular intersections we need to change.
Right.
Miles of widening. There's a lot of different things in it. There's parts about looking at possible rail, down Broward Boulevard, maybe out to Sawgrass, a few places like that. There's places of trying to fill in the grid for the bus system.
Right.
Because one of the things, we just, as you know, Amazon was very interested in Broward County.
Right.
We're in the top 20. But one of the things that they said we needed to work on was both our transportation and our affordable housing. This kind of addresses both. If we're able to have a really good, robust transportation system and a transit system, most of us spend about $10,000 a year on a car.
Right.
If you don't have to spend that money, you can put that toward housing. So, I think this is a big deal for Broward County. I hope the voters will support it. Last 2016, they voted for transportation. There was a poison pill in there with the infrastructure part, so it didn't pass entirely. But I hope they'll consider it this time.
And what about Brightline and Tri-Rail? How does that fit in?
I mean, I would love to see Brightline start to have the coastal link all the way from Miami to Jupiter. That touches 41 downtowns. It would be a game changer for many of them. I think Brightline's trying to figure out their price point. I'm actually asking the counties and the South Regional Planning Council to look at negotiating together with the FEC and with Brightline to look at what the access costs would be. And if we can find a good answer there, then I'd like to see that happen.
I will share with you, it does, we've had several people comment on Brightline. It did open up the ability to get down to Miami relatively quickly.
Right.
And conduct business and get back on the train and get back up to Broward.
Right.
So it did kind of, how would I say, lessen the hassle of going south.
Yeah.
And now that they've opened up both Miami and Palm Beach, the 3 counties are connected. How do we hook that up with our downtown, Las Olas, the hospital, all of those things in downtown through? How do we manage that?
Well, you're going to have to have some kind of transit, maybe dedicated lanes through up and down between 3rd Avenue, Andrews, and some kind of circular type there. Now that the wave is gone,
right.
We're looking at other options, and the MPO and I know Broward County Transit and the City of Fort Lauderdale are all looking at some possibilities of making other connections, ones that make more sense. The wave was a very good developmental tool for attracting development. We need to be looking at it as a transit tool
to attract transit.
To attract transit.
Right, and so 15 years from now, zoom ahead, share with us, what does the future look like in Broward as far as traversing downtown, getting out to Sawgrass, or getting out to a hockey game at the arena, or even getting out to the Turnpike?
Well, I do hope that there's some rail, on the arterial, on those places that we know are fixed routes. It'd be nice to be able to use that and I would hope that the coastal link was up and running by then. If you can have both the north, south, and east, west going on some of that, at some point we're going to have to try to figure out how to get some people off the road because we're growing. We've got more people coming every single day.
I think we're going to have more people coming.
We're going to have more people coming, and the reality is we're going to have to find ways to make it attractive to get off the road, and whether it's rail or buses that people want to get on. We've just bought a bunch of electric buses that have Wi-Fi that make it more attractive. It works in other places. It works in Europe. It works. There's no reason why it shouldn't work here.
Let me switch gears a little bit. I know there's another issue, several issues before the commission, but one of them has to do with the comprehensive waste recycling plan that you all are going to address. And my understanding is that you're going to get a consultant's report sometime soon.
Yes, we are.
And so what does that look like in our future? Because obviously that's infrastructure that's absolutely necessary.
It's absolutely necessary because we had a really good system only a few years ago, and it kind of imploded in 2012. You had not all the cities, but almost all the cities had an interlocal agreement, the Resource Recovery Board, and our recycling rates were like going, on the right arc.
Right.
And we got up to a 60% recycling rate. Since it's imploded, it has fallen off the cliff. And so we know now everybody's tried to kind of go out on their own and do their own thing, and it's not working. So the cities collectively decided to hold on to one of their assets called the Alpha 250, and we asked to do a consultant's report to say how do we get back up to that 75% recycling rate. And so Arcadis consultants are coming in with their report tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I actually, spoiler alert, I already know some. I've seen it. And it's good. It's actually suggesting that we create an independent district, much like, well, actually Palm Beaches is a dependent district. But it's one that the cities and county would come together. It would have its own taxing authority, but it would be a way that we can manage it, make sure that we recycle, hopefully up to 75%. Whatever we can't recycle, we burn at the incinerator. Whatever we don't burn, that goes to the landfill. That makes it sure that we preserve our landfill for as long as we can because
you're extending the use.
We're extending the use. We don't have that much space, and we really need to be able to take care of our own garbage because counties to the north of us are not going to let us keep sending stuff there anymore. It's headlines up there, and they're tired of taking care of our stuff.
Right.
So we got to take care of our own stuff.
So that's what you're going to be addressing through this consultant's report.
Yes, we are.
And how long will that plan? Well, what kind of scope of that time frame is that?
I think we're going to have to go by October. We have to get the city's blessings again to extend.
It's always difficult.
It's always difficult. It's like hurting a lot of people, cats. And I think we'll be okay. I think they saw what happened only in the last month. What happens if they don't have those options? So I think we're looking at probably a 2 or 3 year horizon to actually be able to put together a state-of-the-art recycling center that we can actually. And my hope is we're able to close that loop and actually use those resources that we save, and find some way to manufacture and actually provide resources for the whole county.
I wanted to end on one other issue that I know you have a passion for is education, early childhood education.
I was a teacher for a long time.
Yeah, I know, and I know how much you believe in public education.
Yeah,
so
I do.
Talk a little bit about your vision around early childhood education.
Thanks for bringing that up, actually. We have about 1,000 child care centers in Broward County, but only about 150 of them are accredited. That means most of them are not having the kind of training that you would really want for your kid to go to. You want to make sure that they are getting the best education possible before they get to kindergarten. So when they hit kindergarten, they're ready to go. We need a talented workforce. We're looking for, on the future, that's what businesses and corporations, they want to be able to say, we've got a talented workforce to be able to bring to them. The only way to do that is to try to make sure all those child care centers get accredited. So we actually started the campaign for grade level reading in this county, and everybody's on board. We're all rowing together, school board, Early Learning Coalition, Children's Services Council, Broward County, In fact, we're actually being given an award tomorrow in Philadelphia as a pace setter for the entire United States. Because in our last 4 years, what we've been able to do is bolster and raise the literacy rates 8% just in 4 years.
Studies show the earlier that a child starts to read, the better.
There's no better investment that government can make. The return on investment is like 13 to 1. For every dollar we put in, we get $13 back in terms of training.
That's unheard of, particularly on the government side.
It's totally unheard of on the government side. It is an astounding statistic, but the research shows that. So I would like to see us put money there and do the best we can to make sure that we've got the best workforce possible.
I wanted to remind everybody, you're actually on the ballot this time.
I am on the ballot, and it's an open primary.
August, so everybody gets to vote.
Everybody gets to vote.
August 28th.
August 28th.
Okay, and so you have a message. Obviously, you want to ask people for your vote.
I would
for their vote.
Yeah, it's August 28th. I'm up for re-election, and I would very much love to have your vote again. It's been an honor, a privilege to serve this county, and I would love. I think we've laid a great foundation. I'd like to continue to work for the county.
I hope. First, I want to thank you for your service. So
thanks,
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you
for
very
joining
much.
us today.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.